Hello folks, Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing here in Dallas, Texas. If you happen to live in the Dallas area, holy crap, I had an extremely busy week, working till 8 or 9 o'clock at night. The temperature's been beautiful in the 80s, and then all of a sudden today on Sunday it's in the 50s and it's cold as could be. I'm working on my car. Yes, it's my car, it's not a customer's car. All those people out there that say, oh Scott, you're a hack, you keep working on your own vehicles. Well, I'm mobile, folks, and I don't set up cameras in front of my customers' driveway, waste time. My customers aren't paying me to make videos, so get over it. But I've got something to talk about. I want to do a rinseless wash on this car. I want to clay it. I want to polish it. And I want to lay a layer of wax or sealant, however you want to think about it, that's up to you. But I want to talk about, does a rinseless wash scratch the car? Yep, it does. It scratches the car, it scratches the living daylights out of it. Does a 2-bucket wash with grit guards in your favorite Adams wash mitt or microfiber mitt, does that scratch your car? Yep, that scratches the car too. And here's the silly part. I watch a lot of people do a 2-bucket wash, or they do a rinseless wash and they're going over the panel real slow with a microfiber towel. They don't want to scratch the car, but then they're going to clay it afterwards. Well, forget it. You've overthought the whole process, sorry. But if you're going to clay your car after a rinseless wash or after a 2-bucket wash, are you going to use your power washer? The clay bar is your enemy in the whole process. The clay bar is the most extremely abrasive material you're going to use on your car. So I don't overthink it, and I don't want you guys to overthink it either. So if you're going to use a rinseless wash, or you're going to do a 2-bucket wash, but you're going to clay afterwards, don't overthink it, don't worry about it, because the clay bar is scratching the paint more than you could ever imagine. So here I go. Excuse me. I'm going to show you what I do with this. I'm going to use O&R on this panel, and I'm going to show you how quickly it takes me to wash it, to clay it, to paint prep it, to polish it, because I want to polish it. You want to know why? Because I already know the clay bar is going to scratch it a little bit. I already know that a rinseless wash is going to scratch it, so I want to take all of that out of the scenario. And the polishing I'm going to do is going to remove very little clear coat. It's insignificant, but it's going to remove the scratches that could potentially be there from the clay bar or from the rinseless wash. So this is how I do it. I'll stand over there and start doing it. Hopefully the camera can hear me. But here's the deal. A lot of guys will use a microfiber towel to use their rinseless solution. They'll drag the microfiber towel across the panel real nice and slow. Then they'll pull up and they'll see that edge line where the dirt was collected. Then they'll move their microfiber a little bit more, then go to the next panel. To me, that's crazy. If you're going to do that, that's fine. That's up to you. But I'm already going to polish this thing. I also know I'm going to clay it, so I'm not worried about it, because the clay bar is going to do far more scratching than anything else in this process. I'm not going to overthink it. What I'm going to do, I have some O&R in a bucket, and I like to use one of these microfiber wash mitts. You want to know why? They're far more forgiving than using a microfiber towel. Think about it. A microfiber towel has a very short nap, and when the dirt hits that microfiber towel, it's got no place to hide. It's always on the surface of the microfiber, and you're just dragging it across the paint. This thing's got tiny little fingers on it. It's forgiving. It will roll across the panel. It won't sit there and be static as you go across the panel and scratch the living daylights out of it. But again, I'm not overthinking the little scratching I could do here, because I'm going to polish afterwards. I'm going to show you how quick this is. So that's my little tip. Sometimes I just like using a microfiber. I'll use one side for one panel, then use the other side for another panel. I could have multiple of the, I could have 8 or 9 of these things in my bucket of O&R if I wanted to. Or if it gets a little dirty, hit it with some water and it will release the dirt far easier than a microfiber. Just a little tip there. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some detail spray. This happens to be made by Meguiar's. Why do I like it? I don't know. I buy it. It's cheap and it works well as a lubricant. I'm simply going to spray over the surface of the panel. Just give myself a little bit more lubrication before I drag or slide, however you want to look at it, my mitt that's got O&R on it, right? So I'm going to go on the panel with the detail spray. I provide a little bit more lubrication. I'm going to take my mitt that's got O&R in it, and I'm simply going to, look what I'm doing, I'm going back and forth. Oh my God, Scott's a hack. He's destroying the paint, he's scratching the paint, he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, to me, folks, it doesn't matter. Any little scratching that I could potentially be doing right now, I'm going to get rid of it so quickly, it's not even an issue. Go over here, continue my process on this side of the panel. Now I've got all the dirt, all the unbonded contaminants off the paint. I'm not worried about it. Everything looks great there. I'm going to leave that panel slightly wet because now I'm going to go right to claying. I got my clay bar here set up. I'm going to take my clay bar. I'm going to use my last touch detail spray again. I'm going to spray it on the panel, and I'm simply going to start claying the car. Go over this as quickly as I can. I'm feeling the bonded contaminants being released off the paint. My clay bar's got a little bit of resistance. I can feel it. And I'm pulling up those bonded contaminants. I'm happy. Everything's working out well. And in this whole process, with the rinseless washing, whether or not I have a plush microfiber or I'm using a dedicated wash mitt for my O&R, it doesn't matter. This is scratching the paint far more. Just realize that and don't overthink it. We all overthink it. I used to overthink it too. I get it, I understand it, but I work in the real world and I know how to remove those light scratches from washing the car with O&R and with the clay bar really quick. So I'm going to go in here and do this side of the hood. I could wash, clay, polish, and lay a layer of protection on this car in probably less than an hour and get amazing results that remove any of the concern that I had of scratching the paint. Oh my God, be careful with a rinseless wash. It'll scratch the paint. Anything will scratch the paint. Don't overthink it. So there I go. I've got that panel washed, clayed. I'm going to take a soft, plush microfiber towel and just simply mop up after myself. I actually like this soft, plush microfiber. I don't know where I got it. I can't remember, but it works good for me. Just to be able to mop up from the O&R, to mop up from the Meguiar's Last Touch detail spray that I used as a clay lubricant. I can come in here, just continue to dry. It's not a huge concern for me. It doesn't have to be absolutely spotless because I got one more step. Hopefully the wind is not driving you guys crazy because in Dallas we all of a sudden got 50-degree weather and bad storms and wind like crazy. So I've washed it, I've clayed it, I've probably scratched this car. I know I did. Clay bar scratch cars. It's just, we just got to get over it sometimes and stop overthinking it. Now what I'm going to do is take my paint prep. Maybe you're using Car Pro Eraser, that's fine, that's cool, that's a great product. I use Duplicolor. It's a grease, wax, tar remover. But I want to get all that residue off there. I don't want any of the synthetic material from the O&R on the panel. I don't want any of the clay lubricant synthetics on the panel because I'm going to polish this paint really quickly. So I'm going to use my paint prep just to remove the residue. And you don't need a lot of this stuff, just a couple sprays on the hood. I'm probably using too much. And then I'm going to take a brand new, soft, dedicated microfiber just for paint and come in here and just remove any of the synthetic material that might still be on this panel from the O&R, from the Meguiar's Last Touch. I don't want any of that stuff on the panel because I'm going to polish. and I'm going to lay a sealant at the same time. So I don't want to create a traffic jam. I don't want the polymers, that fancy word again, right? I don't want those synthetic materials from the O&R in the clay lube giving my polish a hard time. Okay, that panel is washed, clayed, it's completely virgin, there's nothing on it anymore. There's no bonded contaminants, unbonded contaminants on it, no synthetic materials, and it's silky smooth. There's no rough spots on it. All the iron and bonded contaminants have been taken off the panel. Now I can just simply, this is a product you guys have heard me talk about, HD Speed, and how much I love HD Speed as an all-in-one product. Another product that I love, Finishing Sealant by Griot's. Another great all-in-one product. This product is now going to, if I was concerned that I scratched the panel using an O&R rinseless wash, I was concerned that I might have scratched the panel, micro-scratched the panel using a clay bar, which I did, I'm going to eliminate that from the process. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to remove any of the scratches I could have possibly put in that paint by just using a sealant. I already want to know, most of us are going to want to wash the car, clay the car, and then lay some type of protection down. So I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. Remove any scratches I put on the paint and put a sealant down at the same time. And that's why I love all-in-one products. These things are made to make your life easier. You could float around this car so freaking quick. I can get this car done in about an hour with the rinseless wash, claying it, doing my paint prep, and then polishing it with the machine, and it lays the protection down afterwards. It's just, to me, it's amazing. These all-in-one products, they're there for us for a reason. They make our life easier. HD Speed is amazing. So is Griot's Finishing Sealant. It's slightly abrasive. I'm not removing a tremendous amount of clear coat. I'm refining the finish, if you will, and removing any scratches I could have possibly put on the car. It's a win-win for me, and it makes my life incredibly simple, and I get the car done. And this car is going to look better than somebody who just rinseless washed it, clayed it, then laid a sealant behind. Now when it comes to Griot's has a black polishing pad that you can use as its little brother or sister to this sealant. That's great, they designed it that way. But here's a tip for some of you beginners. This is a very little abrasive type of polish or compound, whatever you want to call it, and it's got a sealant behind. But I want to up my game. I'm not necessarily going to use Griot's dedicated black pad for this thing. I'm going to use a medium cut Lake Country polish pad. You want to know why? I just want to up my game a little bit. I want to get, maybe there's scratches on this panel that weren't created by me just washing this thing or claying it. There's some scratches on this panel that were there before that. I want to up my game a little bit. I want to take this and kind of go to the next level with it and remove some of the other scratches or swirls that may be on the paint, since I'm here already doing it. So for you beginners, you don't necessarily have to match this with its black finishing pad if you don't want to. You can up your game a little bit and get a little bit more cut if you want. And again, this compound it's not all that aggressive. You're not removing a tremendous amount of clear coat. It's almost insignificant. So I'm going to put some of this on my pad. I know when I make these videos, it's like, Scott, how could this possibly take you an hour to do this whole car? Well, I'm talking, I'm telling you guys how to do it, I'm thinking it through as I do it with you, and that's it. I'm going to put a couple dots on it. That looks crazy, right? But that's cool, don't worry about it. And probably all those little dots right there is going to do half the hood, maybe a little bit more. But here we go. I guess watch your cord when you're working with the DA polisher. Put it over your shoulder if you want so it doesn't scratch the car. That's cool. I'm going to set this thing on speed 2, and I'm going to just tap it out. Maybe I just want to tap out my product, whatever you guys like to do. And then on speed 2, I'm going to spread the product out, just to spread it out evenly. And then I'm going to ramp up to speed 5. You don't have to do 1 inch per second or 1 second per inch, whatever. We're not looking to do paint correction here. I just want to refine this finish, remove any of the light scratching or marring I could have done from the washing process and the claying process, and lay some sealant behind too. Kill 2, 3, 4 birds with one stone. Wow, too many birds getting killed here. But here we go. What I love about HD Speed and what I love about Griot's Boss Finishing Sealant is you get a long working time with it. There's plenty of lubrication on this pad. I probably could have gone further, but I wanted to go over 3 or 4 times. Quick arm speeds. You control the moment. You want to slow it down and pull off more defects, that's fine. But I'm just looking to remove any potential scratches I could have done during the wash, any potential scratches I could have done during the clay barring process, plus lay a layer of sealant at the same time. I love HD Speed for the same reason. The working time is great. You get to control the moment. And now I don't even have to overthink it. Does it scratch paint, rinseless washing? Yes, but I don't have to overthink it now. Does claying scratch the car? Yes, of course, but I don't have to overthink it anymore. But I'm just going to wipe this off. What I love about both HD Speed and Griot's Boss Finishing Sealant, there's no dusting when you use this stuff, virtually no dusting. And the wipe off is a breeze. I'm going to remove this and show you how easy it comes off. I think you guys got the point. But if you did this all the way around the car and you weren't talking like I am, I could do this whole car. It's a big 4-door family sedan, Lexus ES350. I could wash, clay, paint prep it, put a polish across the surface of the panel, remove some light defects, put some sealant on the paint, in about an hour. Some people take, by the time they rip out the hose, fill up their 2 buckets with water, fill it up with their grit guards, their soap, and wash the car. I've seen people take an hour just to wash their car alone. And yet, they're still scratching the paint. This, to me, just makes a lot of sense. Hope it makes sense in your world. I'm going to remove this, then I'm going to shut up. I think I've gotten to the point. I appreciate you all. Hopefully that helps you out. But let me remove that. This stuff, you know, I give 2 thumbs up to Griot's. I give 2 thumbs up to HD Speed. These all-in-ones, the technology today is so impressive. I have taken off very little clear coat off this car. It's basically insignificant to even say it. I've refined the finish. I removed any slight scratching or marring I could have possibly put in this paint during the claying or washing process. I have a panel that's silky smooth, protected, looks amazing. I'm going to do a whole video on paint correction on white cars because it's important to understand it. It's not sexy, not a lot of people talk about it, but 25% of the cars that are created today in North America, guess what color they are? They're white. If you want to learn paint correction, it's one thing to learn on a black car. It's cool, right? You release the tape, you get a 50-50. How sexy is that? Wonderful. But there are tricks that you need to know on polishing a white car and getting the maximum potential from that paint, and not a lot of people talk about it, and I want to talk about it because if you can dial in a white car that people say should be relatively easy to do, it's not. It's got its own challenges too. I'm going to do another video about that in the future to help you guys out. This to me is one of the best ways to wash, to clay, to paint prep, to compound, polish, however you want to look, to remove some of those light scratches I could have possibly put in the paint and sealed the paint at the same time. Get this car done in an hour. I'm happy. My customer's ecstatic because most people will just wash it, they'll just clay it, then they'll put some type of sealant on it by hand. I've just upped my game. I make the car look better. It took me a little bit longer to do it, but still, it's an hour of my time. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world, and I get better results. That's what I wanted to show you guys. I appreciate it so much. Sorry I haven't made a video in probably a week. Been unbelievably busy, crazy. People tease me, oh, he wears golf shirts. He's not a real true detailer. I actually wear these golf shirts when I go to work. But anyway, who cares? Just wanted to help you out. Thank you so much, guys. Hopefully that helps you. Think about it. If you're going to wash clay, you're already scratching the panel. Get yourself a great all-in-one HD Speed Griot's finishing sealant. They'll make your life so much easier. I appreciate it, guys. Until next time, love one another and be safe.